everybody, thanks for coming to the channel. My name is Tim, and today I have been looking forward to this for quite some time now. It's not exactly new gear day for me, but it is new studio furniture day, and I am really happy to finally get what I hope is going to be a rather more functional design than what I've been using. Let me show you. Alright, so I've already started taking some of this stuff apart in preparation for the new furniture I've got coming in, but this is only slightly messier version of what I've been working with for a while now. I've got an old coffee table here that I took from a hotel I used to work at, and I've got everything kind of set up on here. It worked for the confined space I used to have out in my living room, but over time it's just kind of become a little bit cumbersome to deal with. I've got my main and Sonic keyboard, my Behringer MIDI controller, my Mac Mini, and my two monitors up here. My audio interface is kind of down back on the back side of the table there, where it's really hard to reach and plug in and unplug things and fiddle with knobs to set levels and whatnot. And I've had my monitor speakers over on the side over here on a dresser that we've finally gotten moved. All of my guitars and everything have just been sitting in cases where I have to drag out and get everything out to get ready to play. My Mac keyboard and mouse have been resting on the keys of the Sonic and up on top of the Mac Mini itself, so it's kind of been a ergonomic mess to try and do anything. I've been happy to do it because it has saved space for everybody else in the house, but I think it's time for me to finally expand a little bit. So back here on this wall is where we're going to get started. The first thing I've got to put up is the wall hanger for my instruments. Right here in this space you can see all my cases and stuff that are just kind of piled here haphazardly right now. We had a dresser here that's since been moved to the other side of the room, and there's some shelves up here that I'm going to pan up in a second and we'll take down, and then we're going to put the wall hanger up there, and along the way maybe we're going to look at some comments that I've received over time. The first ones are going to come to us from the most recent video I did. This is from Synth Basics 3, the Van Halen edition, and the first comment comes from Andrew Songer 6521. Now, full disclosure, I actually know Andy in real life. We went to high school and college together, but he's never commented on one of my videos, so it's very nice to see something pop up from him. Andy writes, "First time caller, this is fun even for a non-musician. Very cool. I'm glad you liked the video, Andy. I really hope that even non-musicians can get something out of this. If nothing else, just a little bit of an insight into how the music you love to listen to is built and constructed." Alright, there's the shelves down. I'm going to pause here and RTFM and be right back with the guitar hanger. Manual has been consulted. Let's put this baby out. And the other nice comment I got on that video comes from Vegan Steven Music. "Epic key sounds, bro. Thanks for making." I love the Van Halen keyboard stuff. Everybody thinks of Eddie as the great guitar player that he obviously is, but I don't think a lot of people talk enough about the cool keyboard sounds he came up with. Alright, it's up. Now let's put the hangers on it. First guitar that's got to go up is obviously my number one guitar, my EVH Wolfgang Standard. One guitar. Okay, guitar number two is by far my oldest guitar. This is my Ibanez S470DX. Guitar number three is actually my bass guitar. This is a precision bass clone that I bought from a local music store called CA House, and it's actually branded on the headstock with their logo. But this is my P bass. This next one is an acoustic electric that I got at a flea market just north of here, about an hour. I paid about 99 bucks for it. I just thought it looked nice, and I needed a beater, so here it is. This is an Elica acoustic electric. I don't even know if anybody's ever even heard of that name before, but yeah, this was a guy at a flea market that sells cheap violins and cheap acoustic instruments. All right, now first fully acoustic instrument. This one is actually my second oldest guitar. I got it maybe 2 years after I got my Ibanez. Actually, my wife bought it for me while we were dating. It was an inexpensive guitar. I think it cost about $250. It is a brand called Lucero. It's a model LC100. And it is just a nylon string acoustic guitar. I really like this thing though. It has a good warm sound. All right, after I gave that one a gentle tug on the U up there, bracket holding that, it fits a little better now. Last instrument, and bringing up the rear is my newest instrument. You guys saw me definitely not use a saw very well. It is the cigar box guitar from a couple videos back. All right, next up, we're going to tackle this monstrosity and get it taken apart and clean up a little bit. And I'm going to get my air conditioner out of the window because as I record this video, we're moving into fall, and so I don't need that in my bedroom anymore.
And as I start work on that, let's take a look at the next comments. They come to us from my most clickbait titled video of all time, Installing a Tremolo, Watch This First. And as cringy as that title is, it's translated into my most viewed video. Our comment comes to us from @CosmicButtHairs. Big thank you for this. I just installed mine and kept note of all the issues you ran into. It went smoothly. I'm really glad that I was able to help you out. I'm always here to make myself look like an idiot for the benefit of others. Really, the whole point behind that video was to take it from the perspective of somebody who has never done any kind of guitar work or upgrades, is not a handyman by any stretch of the imagination, and see if we'd be able to figure out how to do it on our own. And after an awful lot of trial and error, yeah, I did finally manage to do that, but it took a lot longer than it probably needed to, and hopefully watching all the mix-ups and mistakes that I made and all the start and stop and restarts that I had to go through helped some people out, and you guys were able to then get your own installed with a modicum of difficulty. DM Guitar 24 said that he had an issue with his install. He couldn't figure out what was making the metal scraping noise. Yeah, when you have that in your body cavity of the guitar, you have to have it 100% correct. 99% of the way there is not going to work. It's not going to self-correct. You got to be dead on with that.
Okay, first we are going to assemble these on-stage near-field monitor stands to put my monitors on.
I got back in the game. In no time at all, I was consumed by her flame. I teased her and I pleased her and she loved it.
Okay, and to the guy that said something about me not really being able to use tools and looking like I was just fumbling around with the screwdriver all the time. Nuh-uh. He also told me that I should just go back to playing Guitar Hero, but I was gonna do that, but your mom said to stop playing with your stuffs. Monitor stand. Let's do it again.
Give me action, satisfaction. I want action.
All right, this is one of my Sterling MX5 monitors. Let's see how it sits. Feels pretty sturdy to me. And finally, the big guy. My new studio desk. This is by a company called Armosity, and again, it's on Amazon. I'll put a link to it. Let's do it.
One video I'm pretty proud of was my video called Recreating Keith Emerson's Synth Sounds. I was really happy with the way that the sounds came out on that video using free software, as I love to do. And my comment comes from Topcat 43 Truffles 15. Even though I don't play, I've always loved Keith's synth work. There's just something about that sound that just cuts right through me. That intro to Touch and Go is a good example. My favorite piece of work by Keith is Aquatarchus from the Welcome Back album. Just found out the other day he borrowed that theme from Dick Hyman's The Minotaur. I love all the layers of synthesizer sounds he built that song up with. By the way, enjoyed your post here. It put a smile on my face to just hear that riff again. I feel the same way about Touch and Go. It's such an epic sounding riff, and that horn sound that he built up is just amazing. I was really happy with myself to even get 90% of the way to that sound. I just love it. I have a feeling I'm going to use it again and again. Alright, that's about it for the comments right now. For the rest of this build, let's just talk about the music that you've been hearing in the background here. The first track, obviously, I mentioned was Cold and Lonely Nights, which is my first streaming single. You can get it wherever you get your music online. The other two tracks we've been listening to, Action and this one, Every Little Piece of My Heart, was a collaboration I did with some old buddies, Eric Brock and Paul Higginbotham. Eric has his own channel here on YouTube, Eric Jason Brock. I encourage you definitely to go and check that out. Paul is another friend from high school. Eric, and I, years and years and years ago, had a band called Sweet Cheetah. I was the rhythm guitar player, Eric was the lead guitar player, and Paul was our drummer. There was also a singer and a bass player, but they're not active on YouTube. But Eric and Paul and I decided at some point to just try and get together and get ourselves back into making music several years ago. We picked a couple of songs. Action was one that we had from our Sweet Cheetah days, and Every Little Piece of My Heart was actually a song that a friend of ours, a guy named Lynn Robertson, had written with a band that he was in, and they decided they didn't really want the song. They didn't want to pursue using it anymore. Eric had been hanging around with them and expressed his like of the song, so they said, here, take it and do whatever you want with it. It sat around for quite a while until the three of us decided, hey, let's use it and see what we can make out of it. And both these songs are available for free over on Bandcamp. Alright, gang, here is the final reveal. I've got everything plugged back in, and look at that. Got my monitor set at a good level on either side of my screens. Pointing at my chair where it's going to be. I've got a nice drawer to pull out for my keyboard and my mouse. Got both my MIDI keyboards, and very importantly, I can get to my audio interface, and there's Eddie watching over us. Mac is over here on the end. All the USB connections are there behind. I've got the Behringer foot switch and my piano sustain pedal there on the floor. Everything is where it ought to be. And then we've got the guitars on the wall. And the cases stacked over in the corner nice and neatly. I couldn't be happier with this. Alright, gang, that's going to be it for this video. Please remember to like and subscribe, and share it with all your friends. Get some more people over here so we can get to that lovely 1,000 subscriber mark here before the end of the decade, hopefully. Please be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok and all the socials, which I'm going to put over in this area here. Don't forget that I do have a Patreon page if you want to help support the channel and help me keep making more and more videos and getting better and better and getting more fun gear to show off to you guys. That would be lovely, and I will see you all next time.